African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 21st of March, 2025. From March 15th to 21st, the armed forces of the Russian Federation carried out 13 group strikes with high-precision weapons and attack drones, which damaged the infrastructure of military airfields, assembly shops, storage and training sites for attack drone operators, ammunition depots, as well as temporary deployment points of nationalists and Ukrainian armed formations. Over the course of the week, units of the North Group of Forces continued to destroy Ukrainian Armed Forces formations in the Kursk region. As a result of decisive actions, the settlements of Zaoleshenka and Rubanshchina were liberated. Airstrikes, drone strikes and artillery fire damaged the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades, an airborne assault brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a Marine brigade and 2 territorial defense brigades. In the Kharkov and Belgorod directions, units of 2 mechanized brigades and 2 assault regiments of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were defeated. Over the week, in the area of responsibility of the North Group of Forces, the enemy's losses amounted to over 2,295 servicemen, 16 tanks and 58 combat armored vehicles. 130 vehicles, 30 field artillery guns, 6 ammunition depots, 5 electronic and counter-battery warfare stations were destroyed. Units of the West Group of Forces improved their position along the front line, inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized, motorized infantry, assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy lost over 1,670 servicemen, 19 armored combat vehicles, including a Bradley infantry fighting vehicle and 7 U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers. 44 vehicles, 28 field artillery guns, 10 electronic warfare stations, and 11 field ammunition depots were destroyed. The units of the Southern Group of Troops improved their tactical position. Formations of 5 mechanized, motorized infantry, mountain assault, airmobile brigades, a brigade of unmanned systems of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade and 2 National Guard brigades were defeated. Over the past week, the Ukrainian Armed Forces have lost up to 1,615 servicemen, 2 tanks, and 7 armored combat vehicles, including 3 U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers, as well as 34 vehicles, 14 field artillery pieces, 2 Croatian-made RAKSA, 12 multiple launch rocket system launchers, 6 field ammunition depots, and 2 electronic warfare stations. Units of the Center Group of Troops occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They inflicted losses on manpower and equipment for mechanized, 2 Ranger, assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade and a National Guard brigade. The losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to over 3,235 servicemen, 30 combat armored vehicles, including 2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, 3 M113 armored personnel carriers, and 2 U.S.-made Max Pro armored vehicles. 46 vehicles, 26 artillery pieces, and 3 electronic warfare stations were destroyed. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense. They defeated the formations of 3 mechanized, 2 motorized infantry, mountain assault, airmobile brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade and 3 territorial defense brigades. The enemy lost over 1,040 servicemen, 10 armored combat vehicles, 27 cars, and 21 field artillery guns, including 4 Western-made guns. Units of the Dnepr Military Group, as a result of active operations, liberated the village of Stepovoy in the Zaporizhia region. The manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized, mountain assault brigades and 4 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were damaged. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost over 510 servicemen, 32 vehicles and 6 field artillery guns. 9 electronic warfare stations and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. The Russian aerospace forces shot down a MiG-29 of the Ukrainian Air Force in an air battle. Over the course of a week, air defense systems destroyed 28 JDAM guided aerial bombs and 7 HIMARS multiple launch rockets made in the United States, as well as 1,113 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles, including 536 outside the Special Military Operations Zone. In total, since the beginning of the Special Military Operation, the following have been destroyed: 658 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 47,719 unmanned aerial vehicles, 601 anti-aircraft missile system, 22,420 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,530 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 22,788 field artillery pieces and mortars, 33,187 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.